This evening from Dodger Stadium, Game 6 of the 1978 World Series. The American League champions, the New York Yankees, versus the National League champions, the Los Angeles Dodgers. Brought to you by Light Beer, everything you always wanted in a beer and less. And by Dodge. From the Toronto Skydome, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a beautiful indoors Toronto, Canada. Today it is in 1968. Detroit Tigers take on the 1993 Toronto Blue Jays. Hello, everybody. Sports Time Machine brings you a live coverage of the MLB Dream season, the pregame show to start off the program today. Let's go over some game notes today. This is April 13th, 2023 in the MLB schedule. Detroit Tigers are 6-5. The Blue Jays are 9-3. Overall, the Tigers are 6-5. They are first place in the AL Central. They're 4-4 on the road and 4-4 versus right-handed pitching. Toronto is 9-3. They're first place in the AL East. They're 1-1 at home. They are 2-1 versus left-handed pitching. On the mound today, Mickey Lolich. He's making his third start. He's 2-0 on the mound for the Toronto Blue Jays will be Dave Stewart. He's 2-0, making his third start. Both pitchers come in with a 1.50 ERA. Both pitchers have pitched 12 innings. So they're both been about 6-inning starters so far. This is a third game. This is the third game of a 3-game series. The Blue Jays won the opener by the score of 8-2. Guzman over Dobson. And then the Tigers beat Toronto in the Saturday game. That was McLean over Henkin. Ballpark singles today are 1-8 versus lefties. Two rights is 1-9. Two home runs, it's 1-5 versus lefties. And right-handed pitching is 1-17. Roberto Alomar has a 12-game hitting streak going in this game, and Joe Carter with a 7-game hitting streak. Some of the other hot hitters in the majors so far. Bill Freehan in his last 10 games is hitting .394. He is 13 of 33. So far, one of the hot hitters, Norm Cass hitting .269, Jim Northrup hitting .303, and of course, Roberto Alomar is hitting .457. Those who are not you don't want to see Ray Euler, of course, only hitting .136, Dick McAuliffe only hitting .176, Don Wirt hitting .148. It shows you where the Tigers are struggling so far. John Over struggling with the Blue Jays, only hitting .182. There are no injuries report. We are actually at full blast of players, so that's good. We'll see who the best players are in today's game. Welcome to those who are in the game today. This is going to be Strat Matic Super Advanced as we play this one through, as it's going to be Dave Stewart taking them out for the Jays. Henderson, White, Carter, Sprague, Fernandez, Alomar, Overwood, Borders behind the plate, and Stewart on the mound. Leading off will be Dick McAuliffe. He's only hitting .174. Home run, 2 runs batted in, left-handed hitter. Borders sets the target. Here's the pitch from Dave Stewart. And that's going to be a pop to second. Alomar there calls him off, and there's one away. As you see in the scoreboard, top right-hand corner, we have a very limited schedule, so we'll go over that as time permits. Batting second will be Mickey Stanley, only hitting .179. He's coming back from injury, 1 triple, 2 ribbies. Tigers needed him back in this lineup. That really kind of decapitated him. With Stanley, I think Northrup were both out, and it kind of forced Willie Horton to play left field, which really hurt defense. But they're still in first place. This Tiger team probably one of the best teams in the division. Borders puts down the sign. Stewart with the windup. Here's the pitch. And that will be a walk to Mickey Stanley. So Stanley is on. He's on first with 1 man out. And now here is Jim Northrup. He had to hold it together while the Tiger team was going through some issues. Hitting .267, 4 home runs, 10 RBIs. On deck is Bill Freehan. Borders puts down the target. Stewart from the stretch. Stanley taking a lead. And here's the pitch to Northrup. And that will be a line drive base hit for Northrup. Stanley will take second, stays right there. And it will bring up a red-hot Bill Freehan through 43 at-bats, a double, 6 home runs, and 12 runs batted in, hitting .302. So Freehan's been all or nothing on this team. 2 on, 1 out. Stewart looks in from the stretch. Borders calls Stewart from the stretch and the pitch. And that's going to be ground ball down the first. Allrood smothers it. Stanley will go to third. Northrop will move to second as Allrood gets the shore out, and there's 2 outs. Now here's the first baseman, Norm Cash. He's hitting 324, 4 home runs, and a mere 7 RBIs. This is a big opportunity for Cash to get a big base hit. Doesn't hit well in the 2-out situations with runners in scoring position, so it's a kind of a tough spot for him. Borders puts down the sign. Stewart looking in from the stretch, bears down in the pitch. And that's going to be a walk to Cash, and the Tigers have him loaded for Mr. Tiger Al Kaline, hitting 278, 2 homers, and 4 runs batted in. Borders puts down the sign. Stewart from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Kaline. And that's going to be a line drive caught by Fernandez to end the inning. But the Tigers strand them loaded. We go to the bottom of the first. Tigers, nothing. Here come the Jays. Bottom of the first here. Baseball north of the border here. Now here's Ricky Henderson hitting 318. 2 doubles, has 2 doubles, a triple home run, 7 RBIs, has stolen 4 bases. Freehand puts down the sign. Lolich from the windup for the Tigers defensively at Northrop, Stanley, Kaline. This is their best defense. Wirt, Euler, McAuliffe, Cash, and then Freehand and Lolich. Here's the pitch for Mickey Lolich. And that's a ground ball back to the mound, picked up by Lolich, tosses it over to Cash for 1 away. And now here's Devo White hitting 327, 5 home runs, and 10 runs batted in. Having a solid season so far. He'll bat from the right-hand side. He generates a little more power from the left side. Freehand puts down the sign. Lolich with the windup and the pitch. And that's a strikeout for Mickey Lolich, and there's 2 outs. But here is probably the most dangerous hitter in this lineup, and that's Paul Molitor hitting 386. 2 doubles, 2 triples, a home run, 9 runs batted in. Freehand puts down the sign. Lolich with the windup in here to pitch. And that will be a ground ball down the first. Cash got it, takes it to the bag himself, and the Jays go 1, 2, 3. Let's head to the top of the second. Tigers, nothing, and the Blue Jays, nothing. So here's Willie Horton. Let's see if he hears a who. Through 40 at-bats, a double, a triple, 2 homers, and 3 RBIs. Stewart on the mound got out of trouble in the first. Borders puts down the target. Stewart with the full windup and the pitch to Horton. Struck him out. Big strikeout. Fork ball by Stewart. And there was no way Horton is hitting that. Now here's the bottom of this Tiger lineup. Don Wirt only hitting 135. Home run, 3 runs batted in. Him or Euler are not going to hurt you a lot. So you kind of want to pitch in this middle of this lineup and then deal with the bottom part. Borders puts down the sign. Stewart with the fastball. Here's the pitch. And, of course, that's a base hit. As soon as I announced the pitch, it's a base hit over the head of White. He'll play the hop as Wirt coasts in the second with a 1-out double. So now here's the shortstop, Ray Euler. 30 at-bats, hitting 133. Right-handed hitter. Borders puts down the sign. Stewart looking in from the stretch. Runner on second and 1 out. Pitch to Euler. And that's going to be a line drive. Base hit for Euler. Wirt will score. Tigers lead 1-0. Yes, it was. That was actually a ballpark home run effect on Stewart. But because Euler is weak, that was a single and 2 stars. So Tigers lead 1-0. Here's Dick McAuliffe, second baseman. The bottom part of this lineup, that's supposed to be the weak part, just got to Stewart. Thank you for playing Stratomatic baseball. You never know what's going to happen anytime. Borders puts down the sign. Stewart from the stretch. Here's a pitch to McAuliffe. And that will be a walk as Stewart's control problems begins to humble. And you can tell Stewart is barking at our home plate umpire today. Our home plate umpire is Bill Wilkie. First base umpire is Andy Fletcher. Gabe Morales around second, and Chris Segal is at third. So Bill Wilkie hearing it from Dave Stewart. First and second, 1 out here is Mickey Stanley. Stanley in the game, hitting 179 and 2 ribbies. He walked his first time up. Borders puts down the sign. And Stewart working from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Stanley. Is there. He'll come in under it, make the catch, and they will try to go to third. There goes Euler to third. The throw. Oh, no. Good throw by Carter on a one. Off the spring, and Euler had a hold. 2 outs and 2 on. Another major opportunity for the Tigers to get some runs here. And here's Northrup, single his first time up. Borders puts down the sign. Stewart from the stretch, and here's the pitch. And that's going to be a base hit for Northrup. That'll score Euler. McAuliffe will stop at third, and the Tigers lead 2-0. Big RBI, Jimmy Northrup. So the Tigers jumping on top by 2. So now here's Bill Freehand, 0 for 1, a ground out. Porters puts down the sign. Stewart struggling, you can tell. Oh, here's the pitch to Freehand. And that will be a strikeout out for Stewart as the Tigers strand 2 more. We go to the bottom of the second. It's Detroit 2 and Toronto 0. Bottom of the second here at the big ballpark north of the border. So bottom of the second, 2-0. As we go back to base, here is Joe Carter hitting .314, a double, 3 triples, 3 home runs, and 9 runs batted in. So he's having a solid start of a year. Freehand puts down the sign. Looking in is Lolich and the pitch. And that's going to be a single. The center field, Joe Carter, first base hit for Toronto. Here's John Olerud. The year he hit .363, but he struggles against left-handed pitching. So John on the year hitting only .239, 4 doubles, a home run, 11 ribbies. Freehand puts down the sign. Lolich from the stretch. Runner on first. Nobody out. And the pitch is a strikeout for Lolich. So Lolich gets a big K. So now here's Roberto Alomar. He comes in the game with a huge hitting streak. Through 48 at-bats, 5 doubles, 2 triples, no homers, 10 runs batted in. So now it's time. So now it's Alomar, the right-handed hitter against Lolich. Freehand puts down the sign. Lolich from the stretch. Here's the pitch. And that's a strikeout for Alomar. So a big strikeout for Lolich, his third. And now here's Tony Fernandez, rest in peace, hitting .344, 3 doubles, a homer, and 2 runs batted in. Switch hitter batting from the right-hand side. Freehand puts down the sign. Lolich from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Fernandez. And that's going to be a base hit for Fernandez. Again, he is not powered up. That will force Carter all the way to third, and it's first and third Blue Jays. So now here's Eddie Sprague. Not a good hitter with runners in scoring position, so he is going to be tested here. .245 hitter, no homers, 8 runs batted in. So let's see. Putting down the sign is Freehand. Lolich from the stretch. First and third, 2 outs. Fernandez possibly looking to steal second. He's 72%. Wow. You would get it on a 55% or less. We're going to hold Fernandez, though, even though that was very tempting. Freehand puts down the sign. Lolich from the stretch. Here's a pitch to Sprague. And that's a line drive caught by Euler. He was right there. Blue Jays strand 2. We head to the top of the third. Toronto. It's Detroit 2 and Toronto 0. MLB Dream season as the 1968 Tigers take on the 1993 Toronto Blue Jays. Top of the third, still baseball action. Here's Norm Cash, followed by Al Kaline and Willie Horton. Borders puts down the sign. Stewart with the windup. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a ground ball to second. Alomar's got it. Flips it to Olerud for a quick first out. Now here's Al Kaline lined out back in the first. Borders puts down the sign. Stewart with the windup and the pitch. And that's going to be a walk for Stewart. You can tell he's not happy at all. That is his 8th walk of the season, 4th walk of the game. And now here is Horton, 0 for 1. Dangerous hitter, regardless, left-right situation. Borders puts down the sign. Stewart from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Willie Horton. And that's a strikeout for Stewart. He got that forkball over. And there is 2 outs. So Stewart gets his 3rd K. And now here's Don Ward, who started the 2-run uprising with a double and a run scored his first time up. Borders puts down the sign. Stewart working from the stretch. Runner on first and 2 out. Pitch to Wirt. And that's a ground ball to second. Alomar's got it. He should go to first. No, it's a base hit. Alomar was holding. He was going to second, and it went through. So Kaline had to wait up for it. He'll stop at second, and the Tigers get a gift. It's first and second and 2 outs. So now here's Ray Euler, guy he did not expect to get the big RBI the first time up. He got one. It was his first RBI on the season. Borders puts down the sign. Stewart working from the stretch. First and second, 2 outs. Full count from Stewart. And that's going to be a strikeout out. Big strikeout for Stewart to end the inning. Tigers strand 2 more. We go to the bottom of the third. Tigers 2, Toronto nothing. So bottom of the third, it will be Borders followed by Henderson White against Lolich. Freehand puts down the sign. Lolich with the windup and the pitch to Borders. And that's going to be a walk. So there's Borders getting on first. Lolich only walked 65 in 220 innings. Here's Ricky Henderson. So Ricky comes up, batting from the right-hand side. Freehand puts down the target. Lolich from the stretch to pitch to Ricky. And that's going to be a strikeout for Lolich, his 4th of the game. So Ricky's down on strikes and now brings up Devo. Devo struck out his first time up. Freehand points at him, puts down the sign. He's ready. Lolich from the stretch. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a strikeout for Lolich. He gets Devon White, and there's 2 outs. What a ball game so far for Mickey Lolich. He struck out 5 in 2 2/3. So now here's Paul Mauder. Mauder steps up. Dangerous hitter. Freehand puts down the sign. Lolich from the stretch. Gets it. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a line drive base hit for Mauder. So Mauder with a base hit. And again, that was Mauder did not have power. Did not have power. Let's look at that one more time. He is an end both ways. So that was a ballpark single. My fault. So he gets that first and second, 2 outs. And here's Mr. Joe Carter, singled. Touch 'em all, Joe. You've never had a bigger hit in your life. 1 for 1, Joe. So far, having a good year with 9 runs batted in. 2 on. Here we go. Freehand puts down the sign. Lolich working from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Carter. And Carter, a base hit for Carter down the line. Borders will score. Mauder will go to third, and the Bluejays have cut into the Tiger lead. It's 2-1. So RBI base hit for Joe Carter. And here's John Orude. Orude 0 for 1. Lolich needs to get out of this one. Here's the pitch to Orude. And that's going to be a deep drive to right field, or they're going to throw for the lead runner, holding the trailing runner, and he applies the tag in a great play. Bill Freehand was right there, puts the tag down, and the side is retired. A tough Joe Carter thrown out at the plate. We head to the 4th. It's Tigers 2 and Toronto to Nick McAuliffe. So the Tigers getting a little momentum. Will be McAuliffe, Stanley, and Northrop to hit Stewart here. Borders puts down the sign. Stewart with a big windup and delivery. And that's a foul out behind the plate. Borders is there, throws away the mask, makes the catch. And there's 1 out here in the 4th. And here's the catcher. And now here's the center fielder, Mickey Stanley. Stanley walked in flight out. They kind of missed his presence in this lineup. Borders puts down the sign. Stewart with the windup and the pitch. And that's going to be a walk base. And you can tell Stewart not happy at all. So now here we go. 1 man on. That is walk number 5 for Stewart. Northrop 2 for 2. 2 singles, has a ribby. Borders puts down the sign. Stewart from the stretch rocks. And here's the pitch. And that's going to be a strikeout out. Big K for Dave Stewart. So with 2 outs in the 3rd, or the 4th, I should say, here is Bill Freehand, 0 for 2 today. Stewart trying to get past the meat of this Tiger lineup. Borders puts down the sign. Stewart from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Freehand. And that's a ground ball to second. Almar's got it. Does he get it? Goes to his glove, makes the play, and he ends the inning. The Tigers strand 1. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. We have a new ball game. It's 2-2. Tigers 2 runs on 5 hits. The Bluejays 2 runs on 5 hits. Bottom of the fourth, north of the border. It is the Brewers lead the Padres 1-0. Cardinals lead the Pirates 3-0. The Yankees lead the Twins 1-0. The Reds over the Phillies continue to struggle 2-0. Baltimore over Oakland 6-4, and the Red Sox lead the Rays 1-0. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Here's Roberto Alomar 0 for 1. He is working on a long hitting streak. Freehand puts down the sign. Lolich with a windup, and here's the pitch. And that's going to be a strikeout for Alomar. He's 0 for 2. So now here's Tony Fernandez. Singled his first time out. Freehand puts down the sign. Lolich with a big windup and deals. And that's a strikeout, I believe. That is a strikeout for Fernandez. So that is going to be strikeout number 7 for Mickey Lolich. So now here's Eddie Sprague, 2 outs. He lined out his first time up. Freehand puts down the sign. Lolich looks in, rocks, and delivers. And that's a walk. Ooh, Lolich now is complaining to Bill Wilkie. Second walk there. And now here's the catcher, Pat Borders. Borders, he walked his first time up. One of the Toronto's runs. 2-2 tie heading to the bottom of the fourth inning from the Toronto Skydome, now known as the Rogers Center. Freehand puts down the sign. Lolich from the stretch. The pitch to Borders. And Borders hits a shot to left field. They're deep. Back goes Northrop. Leach reaches. Can't get it. It's gone. A 2-run homer for Eddie Sprague. The Blue Jays lead it 4-2. So a 2-out walk comes back to haunt Lolich. And the Blue Jays lead 4-2. That's how fast this Blue Jay lineup can hit. So here's Ricky Henderson. So that was a home run on a 1-17. You got the 17. So it just gets over the wall in left field. Northrop leaped, and he almost brought it back. So now here's Freehand, puts down the sign. Lolich with the lineup, hits to Henderson. And now it's Henderson with a liner. That's a base hit. So Ricky's on. Of course, he's got the speed to go anywhere. So we're definitely going to run good Ricky being Ricky. And there he goes. The throw, not in time, stolen base, Ricky Henderson. So he's on at second with 2 outs. 4-2 Toronto. And here's Devon White. And he's in a situation here which, well, usually both ways. We'll see if he can get a big base hit here. Freehand puts down the sign. Lolich working from the stretch. There's the pitch to White. And that is going to be a liner base hit. Just past Euler and McAuliffe. Henderson almost got Ricky, slowed him down a sec. He'll stop at third, and it's first and third for the Blue Jays. So White out first, Henderson out third. Now what do the Blue Jays do? White, great base runner, can probably steal second, but you got a dangerous hitter in Paul Molitor here. So let's see if they can try to steal second. White's going to take a lead. 22% says yes. Doesn't get it. So White will hold. First and third, 2 outs. Here's the dangerous Mulder. 1 for 2. Toronto 8 hits to the Tigers 5, leading 4-2. 2-run big home run by Eddie Sprague. Freehand puts down the sign. Lolich working from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Mulder. And that's going to be a strikeout for Mickey Lolich. So Lolich gets a big strikeout. He stares at Bill Wilkie. That walk cost him. Goes the Sprague homer followed. We played 4.5. It is 4-2 Blue Jays. Actually played 4, we head to the 5th. So far left on base, the Tigers have left 8 and the Blue Jays have left 5. Good, nice crowd here on April 13th, 2023. Almost about 40,000 or so here at the Skydome. Top of the 5th, 4-2 Blue Jays. We see if the Tigers can now prowl back here. Here's Cash. He'll be fouled by K-Line and Horton against Dave Stewart. Porters puts down the sign. Stewart with the windup, pitch to Cash. And that's a walk to Cash. And Stewart just stares even more at Wilkie. That's 6 walks and 5 Ks. So he's been all over the place. That's 11 base runners in 4+ innings. Bullpen has to get up for Toronto at this point because you are pretty much gassing. They have a full complement. No one's really out. So this is a dangerous Blue Jay bullpen with a lot of depth. And the question is who they go with or have up. So we'll see what happens. They have one decent lefty and mostly righties. I mean, they can throw lighter more the long man. Here's K-Line, 0 for 1 with a walk. 4-2 Toronto. We play the bottom of the fifth inning. Or top of the fifth, sorry. Borders puts down the sign. Stewart working from the stretch. Cash not go anywhere, but he's being held. Pitch to K-Line. And that's a walk again. Oh, that could be it. Cito may have to come get him. That is 7 walks right now. It's 12 base runners in only 4+ innings. And here is Willie Horton. So Horton steps up. Are they going to go get Stewart or not? Pitched 162 innings. So he wasn't his normal dominating self that he was with the A's. But we'll see what he is. He is a 6. So he's actually a 6. He would actually come fatigue next inning. So Horton the hit, and let's see, righty, good, as I say, good lane in baseball. Here comes Cito Gaston, and he'll put up the right hand. It will be Danny Cox. Cox out of the bullpen, 4 innings, 73 hits. Good numbers so far on this season. So Danny Cox will come in and replace Dave Stewart, and Dave Stewart is staring at Bill Wilkie as he comes off the field. So Cox, so far in the season, 1 save, 1.84 ERA, 14 hits, 15 innings, 6 walks, 8 strikeouts. Dominating stuff versus right-handed hitters. So this is a good spot for Horton, Wirt, and Euler here in the fifth. So again, Stewart can't get a decision. He's not happy. Borders puts down the sign. Cox from the stretch to pitch to Horton. And that's a strikeout for Danny Cox. He needed that one. So now here's Don Wirt. He's actually had 2 of the Tiger 5 hits in the ball game, a single and a double. Borders puts down the sign. Danny Cox from the stretch. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be ground ball double play. Sprague to Alomar to Olerud. And that's 2 for the price of 1. So Danny Cox does his job. Let's go to the bottom of the 5th inning. It's 4-2 Blue Jays. So great job there by Cito Gaston getting Stewart out of that ball game. Now here's Carter, followed by Olerud and Alomar against Lolich. Freehand puts down the sign. Lolich with a windup and pitch to Carter. And that ball is deep to left field. That ball will go and gone. Goodbye. 4th home run of the year, Joe Carter. Touch them all. You'll never hit a home run bigger than that. As you touch them all, Joe. It's 5-2 Blue Jays in the 5th. So Carter is 4th home run of the year. Here is John Olerud. So Olerud the bat. Freehand now puts down the sign. Lolich, and the Tiger bullpen's going to have to start getting up on their own here. Here's the pitch to Olerud now, and that's a ground ball to short. Euler in the hole. He's going to have to stop. Nice throw by Euler as Cash stretched and got him. Here's Alomar. He's been up twice, struck out twice. Again, he needs to get a hit here. Again, he's on a big hitting streak. Freehand puts down the sign. Lolich from the Strat, from the windup. Here's a pitch to Alomar, and that's a fly ball right field. So Alomar will not get hit this time up, and he's 0 for 3. So here's Tony Fernandez, 1 for 2, single back in the 2nd. Freehand puts down the sign. Lolich looks in with the big windup and pitch, and that's going to be a base hit for Fernandez. He's 2 for 3. So Fernandez has been on board twice. Here, bottom of the 5th, and here's Ed Sprague, lined out and walk. Home run. Actually, that home run was by Pat Borders. I was saying it's by Sprague. It was by Borders. So Freehand puts down the sign. Lolich, the lefty, from the stretch to Sprague this time. And this time, Sprague hits a line drive base hit. It'll give Pat Borders another chance. For Borders, has walked and homered. That was a 2-run homer back in the 4th inning. That gave the Blue Jays, they tied it up at that point, and then they scored 2 more in the 4th and a run in the 5th. And now they hold on to a 5-2 lead. We play 2 outs in the 5th. Freehand puts down the sign. Lolich from the stretch. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a fly ball center field. Stanley is there, makes the catch, and the Blue Jays 5th is over. They get a run. We go to the top of the 6th. It is 5-2 Toronto. So 5-2 Toronto. And And back to the ballpark. So Euler followed by McAuliffe and Stanley here in the sixth. Danny Cox stays out there with a abundance of righties they got in this team. This is a spot for Cox, can get some good numbers. Borders puts down the sign. Cox with the windup to Euler. And that's a strikeout for Cox. Big strikeout for Danny Cox. So here's McAuliffe, 0 for 2 of the walk. Ooh, his stuff does get worse against lefties. This is where he's got to be careful. Borders puts down the sign. Cox with the windup and pitch. And that's a strikeout. So he gets the big strikeout versus the lefty. So Danny Cox has 3 so far. He has 11 in 16 innings. Borders puts down the sign. Cox with a windup to Mickey Stanley. And that's a strikeout for Cox, and he has 4. What an outing for Danny Cox. He deserves the win here. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It's 5-2 Toronto. So now here's Henderson followed by White and Mauder. Not a great spot for Mickey Lolich to be in, but you don't, especially the Tiger staff, they usually will trust their guys a little more than not. The question is, do they have someone they can bring in that won't get destroyed off their cards? And they do have some serious crap on their team. So let's see. Do they have somebody we can bring in? Let's look at Daryl Patterson a little bit. And let's see if maybe Lolich may go 5. Not bad. Not too bad against lefties. Power is there. And only a couple lefties coming up. So they're going to go to Daryl Patterson here just because the lineup gets really ugly against left-handers. So Lolich gives 5, something Lolich is not used to, but you can tell he has not had it. So Daryl Patterson will come in. 1 save, 3.86 ERA, 4 hits over 5 innings, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts. Freehan puts down the sign. Patterson, the right-hander. Here's the pitch to Henderson. And that's a fly ball left field. Northrup is there, makes the catch, and there's 1 away. Here's Devon White. He likes seeing a right-hander. He's 1 for 3 so far with a single. Freehan puts down the sign. Patterson with the windup and the pitch. And that's going to be a strikeout for Devon White. So a big K for Patterson. That was his first of the year. And now here is, actually, it was his 8th strikeout in 5 innings. So here is Mauder now with 2 outs. Weaker against right-handers. Freehan puts down the sign. Patterson with the windup to Mauder. And that's going to be a pop-up to short. Euler is there, makes the catch. And how about that? 1-2-3 inning. We head to the 7th. It's 5-2 Blue Jays. So it'll be Northrup followed by Freehan and Cash against Danny Cox staying in there. He's going to stay and give long-time relief here. He has looked absolutely fantastic. Borders puts down the sign. Cox with the windup, pitch to Northrup. And that's going to be a base hit for Northrup. He's 3 for 4. He's a tough hitter. Here is Billy Freehan, 0 for 3. So we'll see if Cox can work his way out of it here. Borders puts down the sign. Cox from the stretch. Here's the pitch. And that's a pop to short, way up there. Fernandez looks up at the roof, makes the catch, and there's 1 away. Here's Norm Cash. 0 for 1, couple walks so far. Borders puts down the sign. Cox from the stretch. Northrup staying close to the bag. How close does he want to stay? Gets picked off, so he will hold on. Cox from the stretch. And the pitch. That's a walk to Cash. Now there's 2 on. Tying runners coming to plate for K-Line and Horton. So this is where you look at things and go, Cox normally is dynamic versus righties. But then you bring somebody in who's even filthier, and that could be Mark Eichhorn. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to bring in Eichhorn here. So Eichhorn will be the new pitcher for the Toronto Blue Jays. He is no record, 2.79 ERA through 10 innings, 10 hits, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts. First and second, 1 out here. Borders puts down the sign. Eichhorn, the submariner. Here's the pitch to K-Line. And that's a strikeout on the inside corner, 2 away. And now it's a time to see if we have a who in the season. Willie Horton. He struck out all 3 times, but he is 1 swing away from tying this up. Good ball games in the majors. Brewers lead the Padres 1-0. Cardinals lead the Pirates 6-1. Yankees over the Twins 1-0. Reds still lead the Phillies 2-1. That would say the hapless Phillies. Baltimore leads the A's 7-4, and the Red Sox over the Rays 1-0. Borders puts down the sign. Eichhorn from the stretch. As Willie hear a who? Here's the pitch. And a ground ball down the third. Sprague long throw. Got him. And Horton is out, and the seventh inning is over. Tigers strand 2. We go to the bottom of the seventh. Get up and stretch here in Toronto. Toronto 5 and the Tigers 2. So 5-2. We head to the bottom of the seventh inning. Willie did not hear a who there. Bottom of the seventh. So now it'll be Carter followed by Olrud and Alomar against a right-hander Patterson. This is where Alomar can maybe get that hitting streak back going. Carter 3 for 3 in the ball game, 2 singles and a home run and 2 ribbies. Freehan puts down the sign. Patterson with the windup to Joe, and that will be a line drive caught by Euler, 1 away. Here is John Olrud. So Olrud the bat, he's 1 for 3, a double back in the third. Freehan puts down the sign. Patterson with the windup to pitch to Olrud. And that's a ground ball to second. McCall's got it. Field throws the first. Got him, and there's 2 outs. Last possible chance for Alomar, we think. Alomar came in the game with a hitting streak. 0 for 3 so far. Freehan puts down the sign. Patterson looks in. Here's the windup to Alomar. And that's a walk to Alomar that could have ended his hitting streak. So here's Tony Fernandez, 2 for 3, 2 singles. Freehan puts down the sign. Alomar with speed, 39% says goes. There goes Alomar, and he just gets in there and gets the hand in. So Alomar steals second. So he gets a little bit of everything done on this Jays team. Fernandez steps back up, left switchy, batting from the left-hand side. Freehan puts down the sign. Patterson from the stretch, pitch to Fernandez. And that's a walk to Fernandez, and the stolen base didn't matter. First and second, 2 outs for Eddie Sprague, 1 for 2. Again, doesn't hit well in the clutch with runners in scoring position. Let's see if Patterson can improve on that for Sprague here. They need to keep the Tigers where they're at, only up 3 with 2 outs. Freehan puts down the sign. Patterson working from the stretch. 2 on, 2 out, pitch to Sprague. And that is going to be a fly ball right field. K-Line backs up, makes the catch, and they strand a couple more. We've got a lot of stranding parties today. We go to the 8th. It's 5-2 Toronto. Through 7 innings so far, the Tigers have left 11 on base and the Blue Jays 9. So not so good so far. The Tigers are 2 for 11 with runners in scoring position, while the Blue Jays are 3 for 7. So Blue Jays getting the job done a little more than the Tigers. Top of the 8th, it's going to be Wirt, Euler, and then McCullough, the bat here in the 8th. Against Mark Eichhorn. Borders puts down the sign. Eichhorn with the windup to Wirt, and that's going to be a fly ball left field. Ricky is there, makes the catch, and there's 1 out in the 8th. Here's Euler, 1 for 3 with the ribby. Borders puts down the sign. Eichhorn with the windup. Here's the pitch to Euler. And that's going to be a little looper left field. Henderson comes in, puts the glove out, and makes the catch. There's 2 outs. Here's Dick McCullough. So, again, Mark Eichhorn doing the job. That would mean Dwayne Ward gets up in the Blue Jay bullpen. We are still in a save situation. Borders puts down the sign. Eichhorn with the windup and pitch to McCullough. And that's a base hit for McCullough. He's 1 for 4. So now here's Mickey Stanley. Stanley in the ball game is 0 for 2 with a couple walks. Borders puts down the sign. Eichhorn from the stretch. Let's see if McCullough wants to steal one. 42% says no, so he'll stay at first. So Borders puts down the sign. Eichhorn from the stretch. Stanley. And that's, it hit him. And Stanley could be out. He is. He's going to be out for the rest of the game. He's the center fielder again. Believe that. Jeez. Oh boy. Again, that's going to mean probably Jimmy Northrup going to center and someone else going to left. We'll bring Comer out. And he'll run and probably move to left, and McCullough will move to center. So first and second, 2 out for Northrup, 3 for 4 at the ribby. Borders puts down the sign. Icorn from the stretch. Big opportunity. And here comes Cito. And let's see if they'll go to they'll go to the lone lefty, and he has not pitched well. And that could be Tony Castilla. They don't have anybody reverse lefties. And do they go after him? On deck is Freehand. 5-2 ball game, 2 outs in the 8th. Castillo will come in the ball game and replace him. So bring out the natural lefty. He's gotten hit a bit. So Northup will stay in, try to see if he can get a hit. First and second, 2 outs. Borders puts down the sign. Tony Castilla trying to get the only man out he wants to get out. Here's the pitch. And that is a pop up the second. Alomar backs up, makes the catch. And yes, they strand 2 more. Boy, the Tigers can't get out of their own way. So the new center fielder will be Jimmy Northrup, and the left fielder will be Comer now. So again, dangerous. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on a second. So Northrup will go to center, and then Comer stays in the game and goes to left. All right, so Patterson stays out there for the Tigers, 5-2, and it'll be Borders, Henderson, and White. Freehand puts down the sign. Patterson with the windup pitch to Borders. And Borders flies the left field, not going to carry. Comer is there being tested, and there's 1 away. Here's Henderson. He's 1 for 4 so far. Freehand puts down the sign. Patterson with the big windup and pitch to Henderson. And Henderson with a base hit, and that could mean run for Ricky. We'll see if Ricky again can get the good lead. And he's going to try for it. He takes it, but he doesn't get it. Patterson holds him close, and Freehand throws one behind him, too. Here's Devo, 1 for 4, single back in the 4th. Freehand puts down the sign. Patterson from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Devo. And Devo ground ball the second softly. McAuliffe goes to Euler, and that's all you're going to get. You're not going to speed up the quick Devon way. So 2 outs now. And now here's Mulder. Let's see if the Blue Jays can get a runner in scoring position here with Devo. Again, he has some speed and doesn't get it. Runner on first 2 outs for Mulder. 1 for 4, has single back in the 3rd. Freehand puts down the sign. Patterson from the stretch, pitch to Mulder. And that's a strikeout and gets him. We go to the 9th. It is 5-2 Blue Jays. Last call for the Tigers. So far, left on base, Tigers 13 and the Blue Jays 10. The Tigers 2 for 12 with runners in scoring position. That is a key part of this game. So far, the winning pitcher, I would think, looked to be Danny Cox, who went a smooth 2 1/3 innings. Icorn and then Castilla came in. So the Tigers come in the 9th, and it will be Wayne Ward. So they'll go to most of their bullpen here. Ward 2 saves through 3 innings, nothing else, 3 hits, 1 walk, and he has struck out 6. So Ward has had gas so far. So now here is Freehand. Borders puts down the sign. Ward with the windup and the pitch. And that is going to be a line drive caught by Fernandez inside the glove. He was playing him perfectly right there. 1 away in the 9th. So here's Cash. He's 0 for 1, 3 walks. So so far he has 9 walks on the year. Good start there for on-base percentage. Borders puts down the sign. Ward looks in and the windup. And that's going to be a strikeout for Ward on big gas. 2 outs in the 9th, and here's K-Line, 0 for 2 and 2 walks for himself. Toronto got a ton of walks earlier from Dave Stewart, who walked 7. They've had 8 walks in the ball game, but they've left too many runners on base. K-Line is the last chance here for the Tigers. Borders puts down the sign. Ward with the windup, the pitch to K-Line. And that's a gas. It's all gas for Ward, and the Toronto Blue Jays will win this by the score of 5-2. So it looks like the final scores today. Brewers beat the Padres 3-2. Cardinals over the Pirates 6-1. Yankees look to shut out the Twins 1-0. Reds beat the Phillies 3-2. Baltimore over Oakland 8-4. And the Rays came back to beat the Red Sox 4-1. We'll take a look at everything to make sure if all that held up. But I believe those are our finals. Again, the win does go to Danny Cox, goes 2 1/3, and the holds were Icorn, Castilla, And then Ward got his third save. So a great pitching performance by the Blue Jays. They go to 10-3. The Tigers will fall to 6-6. Doubles by Wirt and Olerud. Home runs by Carter and Borders. 11th RBI from Northrup. First from Euler. 11th from Carter. Olerud had his 12th, and Borders had his 8th. Big hitters in the ball game for the Tigers. Northrup 3 for 5, while Wirt went 2 for 4 for the Blue Jays. Carter 3 for 4, run score, 2 RBIs, will be in STM's corner, and we'll talk to him, and he'll get the free watch for being the player of the day. Ricky Henderson 2 for 5, as Tony Fernandez went 2 for 3. Unfortunately for Roberto Alomar, his hitting streak did come to an end, which I believe was like 14 games or something like that, because he did not get a hit in the ball game. So thank you so much. And we'll take a look now at some other results are in baseball. Take a look at the standings, everything else. I see I had some people, folks. This is now what we do now. Try to look at our out-of-town scoreboard that we kind of been looking at for the remaining part of this game. We'll look at some standings if need be, and we'll probably zoom ahead 2 days or so, and then we'll find out what the next game will be played, and probably we'll play that sometime, hopefully earlier this evening. So let's look at out-of-town scoreboard. Let's see. So it was Orioles over the Athletics 8-4. Bunker with the win. Hunter with the loss. Watt is second save. Home runs by Reggie Bando and Davey Johnson. It was the Rays beating the Red Sox 4-1. Wheeler with the win. Hembry with the loss. Rays with 4 in the 8th to get the win. It was the Reds beating the Phillies 3-2. Boy, the Phillies just can't get out of their own way. So the Phillies win that one. That's a big win for the Reds. It was the Yankees defeating the Twins 1-0. Cone with the win. Morris with the loss, as Cone struck out 10 hitters. What a ball game. And it looks like he had a complete game. Wow, David Cone. So Cone with one of the performances of the day. Brewers beat the Padres 3-2. Fingers with the win. Hoffman with the loss. And it was an 11th inning win for the Milwaukee Brewers. And then it was the Cardinals defeat the Pirates by the score of 6-1. Gibson with the win and Johnson with the loss. Zisk and Brock with home runs. And then the game you just witnessed, 5-2 Toronto over Detroit, winning pitcher Cox. Lolich with the loss. Ward with the save. Again, Carter and Borders with home runs. Let's go ahead and jump ahead maybe 2 games or so, and then we'll look at standings and we'll see what is available. We have full action, so we'll return probably Sunday Night Baseball, as these are going to be Friday and Saturday games that will be played. So it is the Red Sox defeating the Angels 3-2. That's a big win. Orioles over the White Sox 9-1. The Phillies get a win finally, defeat the Reds 10-6. Tigers over the Giants. That's a good series. Rangers over the Astros 5-3. It was the Braves, the Royals 6-3. Cubs defeated the Dodgers 8-2. Florida over Arizona 7-3. Minnesota over the Yankees 4-2. It was the Angels defeating the Mets by the A's, defeating the Mets by the score of 4-2. Wow, the Mets lost to the A's. It was the Padres defeating the Brewers 10-8. It was the Mariners over the Rockies 7-1. Cardinals over the Pirates 7-3. Tampa Bay over Toronto, team we just saw 7-1. And the Nationals over the Indians 5-4. We'll take a look at one more game. That's what we'll probably do in the future, going 2 ahead and then playing the third game. That'll be perfect, because then we'll have Sunday Night Baseball to have, and we'll see what's available. And it was the Angels defeating the Red Sox 11-10. Wow, a lot of runs in this Saturday. Orioles over the White Sox 12-10. Phillies over the Reds 4-3. Tigers over the Giants 6-4. Royals over the Braves 3-1. Marlins, again, they are staying in this division, beat the Diamondbacks 12-2. It was the Yankees defeating the Twins 9-7. It was the Mets defeating the A's 10-4. Padres over the Brewers 8-7. Pirates over the Cardinals 14-4. Rays again over the Jays 5-3. Nationals over Cleveland 9-4. It was the Astros over the Rangers 4-3. The Dodgers over the Cubs 4-3, and Seattle defeating Colorado 3-0. Usually what I do on the Sunday night games of the week when it's given to me, I play the game ESPN would have broadcasted. So let's find the game that is on night, and it will be, yes, it will be the Texas Rangers taking on the Houston Astros. That is the only night game that is scheduled on that game. So it will be an ESPN ball game as it'll be Dan Dunning against Mike Fiers. Go ahead and put that as our manual day. And then we'll see what the rest of the stats show us. I'll kind of give you some league leaders for a minute here while the game didn't last too long. So I got some time to give you some results and everything else, which is fun. So let's go ahead and give you the standings. First place team so far. So far in first place, the Tampa Bay Rays are 11-4. They are a game better than the Blue Jays, one game ahead of the Yankees. Tigers still in first place. They're 2.5 over the Twins, 3.5 over the Royals. The Tigers are 8-6. They're the only 500 team in the Central. In the West, the Seattle Mariners are 11-4. They're 2 above. The Astros are 9-6, and the Rangers are 8-6. That's a good game to have playing next. In the National League East, we've seen them winning. The Marlins are a shocking 11-4. The Mets are 10-5, so they're 1 game up on the Mets. Nationals are 2 back. Braves are 5 back, and the Phillies are 8 back. Chicago Cubs are 3.5 better than the Pirates, 5.5 on the Cardinals, 6.5 on the Brewers, 6.5 on the Reds. The Cubs are 11-3. They are the best record right now in baseball. In the NL West, the Giants the Dodgers are 9-6. They're a half game better than the Giants, who are 8-6. Padres are 9-7, a half game back. Then Colorado, then Arizona. So let's kind of give you the triple crown. Josh Reddick still hitting .481. Then Tris Speaker, Kurt Flood, Roberto Alomar, Keith Hernandez, Tim McCarver, Chris Bryant, Bernie Williams, Andrew Benintendi, Manny Sanguin, Xander Bogaerts, and and then Moises Alou. Hitters range from .481 all the way to .377. So hitters are hitting. Home runs, Johnny Bench has 7 home runs for the 75 Cincinnati Reds, along with Troy Gloss of the 0-2 Angels, along with Willie Stargell of the 71 Pirates. All have 7 ding-dongs. Freehand and Marcus Semien has 6 for the Rangers. RBIs, Keith Hernandez, who should be in the Hall of Fame with 20 RBIs. Then it goes Bernie Williams with 18, Greg Vaughn with 17, Brooks Robinson with 16, Troy Gloss with 16, Reggie Jackson with 16, Tim McCarver, shockingly, 16 runs batted in and hitting .411. So some definite big numbers out of Timmy so far, playing well above his head. Let's see if there's anything else we can find out for league leaders out of the pitching staff so far. It looks like let's see. It looks like Reed from the Dodgers had 3 wins. That must be on the bullpen. Kevin Brown for the Marlins has 3. Rich Helling has 3 for the Marlins. Kevin Tapani has 3 for the Twins. Ojeda has 3 for the Mets wins. Seeley has 3 for the Mariners. Sonnenstein has 3 for the Rays. And Anibal Sanchez has 3 for the Nationals. Leading ERA so far is Dallas Keuchel, no ERA, while Ventura has .48 for the Royals, Celia .50 for the Angels. So again, some huge early numbers there. In the save department, Will Smith for the Rangers has 5, Kim from the Diamondbacks has 4, Geisty has 4 for the Pirates, and Doolittle has 4 for the Nationals. Well, folks, that is kind of a what's been going on in our league so far. And again, we'll have the Rangers and the Stros. That'll be the finale of this series. Thank you, folks, for coming in. I appreciate you. Please watch the game if you haven't. Please subscribe. That's one way you can watch it. Hit that ding-dong bell so you know when I do come on live. Hopefully tonight we'll play another one. We might decide to do something else besides Texas Houston. That's kind of fun to play the Sunday night games when given to me, so I'll probably play that one. And they're both playing well in their division, so it's not a bad one. So We'll talk to you later. Thank you for coming in. Again, Sports Time Machine for MLB Dream Season. As you've been watching today, the Toronto Blue Jays defeating the Detroit Tigers. Talk to you later and have a good rest of your day.